The New England Patriots just got a flurry of good draft news. Let's talk about it. My name is Aaron. This is Sports Talk Patriots on the daily, pushing out that content to people just like you who can't get enough Patriots football. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and at some point comment below. I don't care what the heck you say, just comment below. So that being said, today what we're going to be talking about, of course, is the draft. A big name person dropping Drake May in the Patriots' name as well. Draft position possibly changing for the better. As well, we jump into some other things coming to injuries, as well as, just because we're going to talk about it at the end, a little Bill Belichick. So let's jump right into it. First of all, Travis Hunter. Everyone knows Travis Hunter. Even if you don't watch college football, you should know this name. The last person to put up numbers like this was Charles Woodson for Michigan, and guess what? He won the Heisman. And let's jump over to this real quick. Heisman odds at the moment have Travis Hunter minus 2,500. Again, if you don't know what that means, essentially you have to bet $2,500 since it says that minus in front of it. You have to bet $2,500 to win $100. So again, his odds are very good. Gene Tree, Boise State, putting up stupid numbers at running back at Boise State. Unreal numbers. And if you've watched him play, he is one person this college football season I have watched play a lot. He stands in the backfield. He looks like Jason from Halloween. It's pretty crazy. And then he pops off a 75-yard touchdown run. He has done that multiple times. He is crazy to watch. Any other year, you could argue he would be the Heisman winner. Honestly, how he's performed, I think he's put a good case. But Travis Hunter, we're going to jump into his stats in just a little bit. You will see why he is the head front runner. Dylan Gabriel, not a chance. Cam Ward, definitely not a chance. So Travis Hunter, it's a facto, most likely Heisman winner, especially when you have Deion Sanders out there advocating for you, going around sending stuff to Heisman voters on Travis Hunter. I would be very, very surprised if he did not win. But back to Travis Hunter and what he had to say about the Patriots. Apparently, he was playing a video game. The other day. He was live streaming, and a commentator asked him, "Hey, what's your thoughts on potentially joining Drake May in New England?" And his response was this: "Trav and Drake May, that'd be tough." And so, very much approving. And again, we know, and this is a good sign for the Patriots, because a lot of times you see these high-ticket people, like remember back in the day with Eli Manning. Eli Manning was like, I will essentially go anywhere, but I do not want to play for the Chargers back, obviously, when they're in San Diego, and I wish they were still in San Diego because there are no fans in L.A. That being said, and there is one L.A. fan that watches this. I appreciate you. You commented before. Appreciate you out there on the West Coast. That being said, he has said that he wants to play both sides of the ball, cornerback and wide receiver. Now let's jump into his stats real quick. Again, ridiculous stats for playing both sides of the ball. This year, 92 receptions, almost 1,200 yards. He still has a bowl game if he plays in that, and I think he will, because Deion Sanders says no one is sitting for my team in a bowl game, which I respect, because that makes those bowl games much more exciting. Even though they didn't make the playoffs, they did significantly better than last year in Boulder. And so you see he had an average of 12.5 yards a reception, 14 touchdowns, which is solid, coming from Deion Sanders' son, Shador. And then on the defensive side of the ball, he had 31 tackles, 20 solo tackles, and then 4 interceptions and a forced fumble. And so you look at this, and it is incredibly impressive. You see very, very few athletes nowadays play both sides of the ball. And so when you look at this and you say, hey, especially for the Patriots, let's say this, especially for the Patriots. Again, I've been suspect about Hunter just because it's like, well, he's not going to play both sides of the ball. At least I would assume he's not going to. I don't think an NFL team would necessarily let him do that. Now, that does not mean if he came to the team like the Patriots and they were in a pinch, they would put him at cornerback. I could see that happening. But I think his primary position will be wide receiver. Now, that would be good for the Patriots if he came to the Patriots, because we need a wide receiver. He has that breakout speed. He has that talent. He was a 5-star for a reason. When he came out of high school, He was the number one recruit in the country. He signed with Jackson State. You remember the HBCU school and Deion Sanders. It was a huge move. Then he went to Colorado, and he has only done well. So Heisman winner, potentially down the road. We still have plenty of football left to play. Maybe in the future, a New England Patriot. You never know. Again, he approves, and especially being on a team where Deion is the head coach. And there's been, you can argue, a lot of controversy in Boulder with Deion when it comes to players transferring out, saying Deion didn't even know my name. He didn't even respect me. He told me to leave. Again, say what you want about Deion. He's come into a program and turned it around, especially a program that it is not easy to recruit in Colorado. And moving to the Big 12, there are other programs in that conference that people would gladly go to, but him going there with that name, recruiting, and getting the biggest recruit in the country, very impressive. Now for Deion, who the heck knows what happens, what he continues to do in his career. They just signed another big-time quarterback. You're like, Aaron, this isn't a Buffs show. You're right. I'll stop talking about it. But Travis Hunter doesn't dismiss the idea of being a Patriot and basically approves. So I think that's awesome, and that's one bit of great news. Second great news pertaining to the draft, and we touched on this just a little bit, but a lot of different NBC Sports, ESPN Sports, CBS are projecting that the Patriots will most likely, they move from the fourth overall pick to the third overall pick. Now, I have a hard time seeing teams like the Raiders. Again, we've dived into strength of schedule remaining for each team. And what's tough for the Patriots is the Cardinals, they have this week, but then they have the Bills, Chargers, Bills. And Bills and Chargers are pretty much in the playoffs. And so the only reason I feel like the game they would win would most likely be against the Cardinals this week. Still going to be a tough game, not going to be easy. There still is a small chance that the Cardinals make the playoffs, very small but possible. So they're playing with their backs against the wall. You look at the Bills, I truly feel like besides the first game against the Cardinals, if the last week 17, the Bills are playing and they rest their starters, that's a possible win. But besides that, I think the Patriots are trending towards definitely a top 3 pick. It is possible. You never know in these last 4 games what happens for the Patriots, but it could be that first overall pick. And let's be real, that first overall pick is going to be Travis Hunter. Regardless who's picking, it would blow my mind if it was someone else. Again, we've looked at the talent in this draft. A lot of you have commented about it. I've read a lot about it. I've watched college football. It is not as strong as people would say the last year's draft class was. So if you could go in and get that first overall pick and get Travis Hunter, that would be wild. And good to know he wants to come to the Patriots. So, or it doesn't want to dismiss the idea, again, like an Eli Manning saying, nope, not going to play for the Chargers, and almost being a prima donna type deal. So very good to see for the Patriots. Again, I know you're like, Aaron, there's still a lot of football to play. Yes, that's true. But as one of my favorite characters in any movie, Lloyd Christmas, Dumb and Dumber, you're telling me there's a chance. You are telling me there's a chance. You never know. So next, Javon Baker, talking about one potential wide receiver in Travis Hunter, going to another one in Javon Baker. A lot of promise this year, but he is out once again, which is frustrating. He has only played 32 offensive snaps this year. He is now in concussion protocol. And what's frustrating about that is in these last 4 games, Gerard Mayo in this organization has said, hey, we want to see what we have, especially in these younger players. There's a reason KJ Osborne was dropped, and giving room for these younger wide receivers to go out and prove themselves in these last 4 weeks. They're not making the playoffs. We already know that. They're eliminated. So seeing what they have going into the offseason is huge. This is not great for Javon Baker, and it's frustrating. It continues to pile up the frustration because, again, a lot of people came into the season, the Patriots organization came into the season, seeing Polk and Baker and saying, hey, they have a lot of potential. A lot of people jumped on the hype train when it came to those 2 guys, and they have not performed. So hopefully he gets off that and he's able to play the last 3 games, but it does not look like he obviously is trending towards this game Sunday against the Cardinals. Some other news that is kind of rough is Marcus Jones has an illness. A couple other guys we're seeing around the complex wearing masks. Again, hopefully they are okay in time for the game, but we will see as that develops. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, Bill Belichick, the old ball coach, takes the job in Chapel Hill. As everyone's calling it now, Chapel Bill. And so, anyways, he is going to the college ranks. And, good for him. Good for him. I am surprised that this is the route he's taking. But maybe he's just like, hey, I want to try college out. We'll see how it goes. Apparently, his father was an assistant coach at UNC during his career. So maybe there's just a little bit of, hey, you know what? If I'm going to end my coaching career, this is where I want to end. Apparently, Mike Lombardi, going into the general manager role. He's someone who is with the Patriots organization for a little bit, and I would not be surprised as he starts filling in those spots that you see more and more former Patriot names in there. Now, you're probably wondering why in the world college football, why would you need a general manager? Remember now they have the NIL, name, image, and likeness, and so you really have to treat a team in college almost like a minor league team. You are still figuring out who can we give money to, how can we recruit. And as I've said before on Bill Belichick taking this job, there is no way he would take this job if the university wasn't behind him saying, listen, money is just a thing. Like, we can give you as much as you want when it comes to NIL. That is the biggest thing. If you want to win in college football, you got to pay the big time players. You look at Bryce Underwood. He is the number one recruit in the country right now. He was with LSU. He was committed to LSU verbally for a long, long, long time. And then the University of Michigan threw a $10.5 million contract at him. And he said, see ya, LSU. See ya, Brian Kelly. I'm going with the Wolverines. And the Wolverines, they had a rough season this year, 7-5, and honestly, they will probably get trounced by Alabama. Depending on who plays for Alabama, a lot of times you see players sit, especially if they're not in the playoff, if there's not really much at stake. So we will see what happens, but again, very interesting. So comment below any of the stuff we talked about today. What's your thoughts when it comes to Travis Hunter? Yay or nay on him and the Patriots? Would you like to see that? If not, who is your number one get in this draft that you want to see a Patriot? As well, any thoughts on Bill Belichick, Javon Baker, whoever? I don't know. Comment below. Say something. I don't care. We'll talk later. My name's Aaron. Hit that subscribe button on your way out. Peace.